acronym is OPSASCOM. Okay, so in this lesson we're going to learn about the present perfect continuous. Now let's study the following example. Anne's clothes are covered in paint. She's been painting the ceiling. Has been painting is the present perfect continuous tense. We are interested in the action. It doesn't matter whether something is being finished or not. In the example, the action has not been finished. Look at this picture and try to answer this question. Is it raining? Well, it's clearly not. Okay, so you see the sun is shining and there is a rainbow in here and white clouds, so it's not raining. But the ground is wet. You've noticed here there is a pool of water on the ground, and so it has been raining. This verb is in the present perfect continuous tense. Here is another example. I have been running for 10 minutes. Okay? So to form the present perfect continuous, we start with the subject. In this case, we're going to see pronouns I, we, you, they. We use the present tense of the verb have. Okay? And have here is a modal verb or an auxiliary or helping verb. With he, she, and it, we'll use has, followed by been, plus the verb and an ing at the end. Let's practice with this example. We have the verb wait, and I want you to use it in this sentence. I for 1 hour. Here is the rule to serve as a reminder for you to follow. So, remember, with the subject, and in this case the subject is the pronoun I, we're going to use the helping verb have. Okay, so I have, and then we use been, very good, followed by the verb which is in bracket here, which is the verb wait. And at the end we add ing. And the whole sentence reads, I have been waiting for 1 hour. I have been waiting for 1 hour. Great. Here is another chance for you to practice, this time with the verb work and a different pronoun. This time you have the third person pronoun she. Okay, you have the rule. Let's follow this. Start with the subject, the pronoun she. Notice that with she we use has. She has, and then been, and then the verb, in this case work, and then the ing. Complete sentence. She has been working hard recently. Great. Let's complete these sentences using the present perfect continuous tense. Sentence number 1. Kevin is studying right now. He began studying 3 hours ago. So, he has been studying for 3 hours. Second sentence. I'm learning Spanish. I started learning Spanish in December. So, I have been learning Spanish since December. Anne is looking for a job. She began looking 6 months ago. Okay, the complete sentence is Anne has been looking for a job for 6 months. Mary is working in Toronto. She started working there on January the 18th. Right? So, Mary has been working in Toronto since January the 18th. Mark smokes. He started smoking 5 years ago. So, Mark has been smoking for 5 years. What about the negative form? Right. So, in the negative form, we start the sentence with the subject, and then the helping verb or the auxiliary, have or has, and then we put the negative marker, not, shortened for N''T. Okay? So we say haven't or hasn't, and then been, and then the verb plus ing. Okay? So start with pronoun she in this sentence, she, and then has not, a short form is hasn't, been, working. She hasn't been working. She hasn't been working hard recently. Right, let's change the subject. The subject in this sentence is the new employees. Use not, and then the verb work, and complete the sentence. Okay, so here is the rule again. Study it carefully, and let's answer this question and put the verb in the correct tense. The new employees can be replaced with the pronoun they. Okay, so they, and then we use have, plus not, haven't or have not, okay, been working. The complete sentence reads, they haven't been working hard recently. So far, so good. How about questions? Well, let's examine the following picture. Have a look at it. Right, you're out of breath. Have you been running? Have you been running is a question in which the tense is the present perfect continuous. Now, to form a question using this tense, we start with the helping verb or the modal auxiliary, have or has, and then we use the subject, and then been, and then a verb, and then ing, and we finish with a question mark. The difference between a question and a sentence or statement is just this. Okay, so we take the modal auxiliary and we put it at the beginning of question. So question read, have or has, subject, pronoun, and then been, verb plus ing, and you finish with a question mark to show that this is a question, right? Why are your clothes so dirty? What have you been doing? Now, if you want to know something, then you use a WH question word. Okay? If you want to ask about something or an event, you use what. If you want to ask about a place, use where. If you want to ask about time, use when, and so on. You know these WH question words. So you start with the WH question word, and then you follow using the same pattern as the yes-no question that we have just previously seen. So you use the auxiliary, have or has, and then the subject, and then been, and then the verb, and then ing. And don't forget to finish with a question mark. Right. Has been raining is a verb in the present perfect continuous tense, and we use this tense to talk about an action that began in the past and has recently stopped or just stopped. For example, in this picture, it has been snowing. Notice that it has just stopped snowing, right? Here are some more examples. I'm tired now because I've been running. In this case, I've stopped running recently, or I have just stopped running, and now I feel tired. Why is the grass wet now? Has it been raining? Okay. And the third sentence, you don't understand now because you haven't been listening. In this sentence, they have been waiting here for over an hour. We use the present perfect continuous to ask or say how long something has been happening. This time, the action or situation began in the past and is still happening at the moment of speaking. Here is an example. It is raining now. It began to rain 2 hours ago, and it is still raining. So we say, it has been raining for 2 hours. We often use the present perfect continuous in this way, especially with how long, for, and since. So in this sentence, I have been reading for 2 hours. Let's follow with the timeline here. We have the past, the present, and the future. So I have been reading means that the action started in the past. It started 2 hours ago. And the action is continuing now. I am still reading now at this moment of speaking. Okay? So I have been reading for 2 hours means that I am still reading now. The action is continuing. We've been studying since 9 o'clock. It means that I started studying at 9 o'clock and we are still studying right now. How long have you been learning English? It means that you are still learning now. We have not been smoking and we are not smoking now. Okay? Here are some verbs, and I want you to use them to complete the sentences using the present perfect continuous tense. Here's the first sentence. How long you study English? This is a question, so be careful with the order of words. How long have you been studying English? Notice that I started with the modal auxiliary, have, because I'm using the subject or the pronoun you, followed by been, followed by the verb and ing. Let's read this question again. How long have you been studying English? In the second sentence, they, and then you have the verb wait, here for over an hour. Use the verb in the present perfect continuous, and the sentence reads, they have been waiting here for over an hour. Notice that I'm using the short form of the verb here, so they've. They've been waiting here for over an hour. Sentence 3. I, the verb watch, television since 2 o'clock. The correct use of the verb in the present continuous tense in this sentence is I've been watching television since 2 o'clock. Sentence 3. George not feel very well lately. Okay? George hasn't been feeling very well lately. You work hard today. This is a question. So it is a yes-no question. And so the order of words will be like this. Have you been working hard today? She played tennis since she was 8. Okay, so the answer is she has been playing tennis since she was 8. Last sentence in this exercise. How long and then you smoke? The correct answer is how long have you been smoking?